I will take the destiny and stars of anyone that sits on my chair. Those words struck Sabina like arrows. All she could think of was Nana's salon overflowing with customers while hers remained empty. Slowly she nodded. I will do it. The priestess smiled darkly. She gave Sabina a warning. Never let the jar break, and never deny the goddess her share. If you betray her, the curse will return to you 7 times stronger. Sabina held the jar with trembling hands. The insects crawled restlessly inside as if hungry for victims. She felt disgust and fear, but also a strange excitement. For the first time, she believed her breakthrough was close. As she left the hut, the evening sun was setting over the river, painting the sky red. Sabina clutched the jar tightly to her chest. She didn't know it yet, but she had just carried death and destruction with her hands, into her own future and into the lives of innocent women who only wanted their hair done. The next morning, she woke up before sunrise. The jar sat in the corner of her room. She remembered the princess' instruction, and then with trembling hands, she opened it. Sabina dipped her combs into the mixture, rubbed some of her crawling creatures into her bottles of shampoo and hair cream. She whispered, let this work. For hours she waited, her heart pounding, eyes fixed on her empty door. Just when doubt began to creep in, a young lady dressed in office clothes stopped. She looked around for a moment and then surprisingly she entered Sabina's salon. Good morning, sister. Can you braid my hair quickly? I have a meeting later, she said with a smile. Sabina's heart leapt. She welcomed her warmly. She washed her hair and transferred the invisible glass onto her scalp. Throughout the session, she forced herself to act normal, even though her mind screamed with guilt. When the lady left, her hair looked beautiful and promised to come back again. That evening, Sabina noticed something unusual. 3 more women walked in, one after the other. Her salon that had once been empty was filled with chatter and laughter, her pockets jingling with money for the first time in months. When Sabina was still in awe, something darker was happening elsewhere. The office lady woke up the next morning with a terrible headache. She felt weak and confused and empty. Her boss scolded her unnecessarily. She lost an important file and her boss fired her. She didn't understand why, but it was the beginning of her downfall. Meanwhile, Sabina's salon became the talk of the estate. Women whispered that she had golden hands. Even Instagram influencers began posting about her braids. Nana, her neighbor, stood at her shop watching the crowd rushing into Sabina's salon. She frowned in confusion. Something didn't add up, but Sabina didn't care. For the first time, she felt powerful. She whispered to herself, poverty will never see me again. Success came rushing to Sabina faster than she ever imagined. Her small signboard was replaced with a big banner. She even rebranded her name to Slay Queen's Beauty Touch. She renovated the shop into a very big salon, installed new mirrors, and even hired other assistants to help with washing and drying hair. From the outside, it looked like a miracle. Everyone admired her sudden rise, except one person, Nana. Nana watched carefully. She knew how long it took to build a business, and Sabina's growth was too fast, too suspicious, yet she kept silence, pretending not to notice. While Sabina was enjoying her fame, her customers were suffering silently. Strange patterns began to emerge. One lady, who styled her wedding hair, suddenly had her marriage called off after shocking disagreements with her fiancé. Another woman, who had visited for a simple weave, lost her job mysteriously. The next week, one had her boutique robbed and ruined. People whispered in the market and on the streets. It's strange. Have you noticed those who go to Sabina's salon start facing misfortunes afterwards? Some laughed it off as coincidence, but others began to fear Sabina, however, ignored the whispers. She was too busy counting her profits, buying new clothes, and posting on Instagram with her celebrity clients. Her mother even praised her, saying that God had finally remembered them. Sabina smiled. Deep down, she knew God had nothing to do with her success. At night, when she was alone, she sometimes heard strange voices coming from the jar. The insects crawled restlessly, as though feeding on invisible energy. It frightened her. But then she would look at her full cash box and reminded herself that that was the price of greatness. Danger was closer than she thought. Nana had begun to notice not only Sabina's rise, but also the sudden troubles of her customers. Nana was willing to uncover what Sabina was hiding. Nana had always believed that true success came from patience, skill, and hard work. For years, she had built her salon step by step and customer by customer. That is why Sabina's sudden breakthrough unsettled her. One evening after closing her salon, Nana sat with an elderly woman who had lived in the neighborhood for years. Have you noticed anything about Sabina's salon? She asked the woman. Some things are better left unspoken, my child. But yes, people are talking, saying that those who go to Sabina come back unlucky. My neighbor's daughter went there and now the girl lies sick in bed. And no doctor can explain why. Be careful, Nana. Something is not ordinary about that girl. Nana's heart grew heavy. She had once pitied Sabina, watching her struggle with no customers, but now she could no longer ignore the truth. Sabina's success smelled darkness. One afternoon, Nana decided to confront her directly. She walked into Sabina's salon with a polite smile. Sister Sabina, business is moving faster for you, eh? She asked. Just a few months ago, you were struggling, and now even celebrities are coming here. Tell me what's your secret. Sabina forced a laugh. Oh, Nana, you know it is God who lifts up people. Maybe my time has finally come. But Nana wasn't convinced. She leaned closer and whispered, be careful what you use to rise. Whatever is hidden will one day be exposed. Sabina's face darkened. She forced a smile for her customers, but her hands trembled slightly. Nana's words pierced her heart. For the first time since her rise, fear crept into Sabina's soul. She hurriedly ended the conversation and pushed Nana out with fake laughter. That night, as she was sleeping, her mind echoed with Nana's warnings. Whatever is hidden will one day be exposed. So, guys, subscribe here for part 2. Thank you, guys. See you in part 2.